Morning guys, let me know when you're there. Just trying to make sure you can see me. I think that's all right. So we will start in 5 minutes. When everyone's up on a Sunday morning at 6:30. Who's there? Who's watching then? Say hi when you're there. Hi Rachel. Are you up and are you going to do it with me, or are you just going to watch this one and do it later? Tell me. My fireplace, by the way, isn't on. Hi. Hope you're keeping well. I'm sure you're going out daily with the dogs. Oh, good, you're doing it with me. That's good. I didn't think anybody would be up at this time to do it. I thought I might get people, have a quick look, and then maybe do it later. So you don't need any equipment, just a mat really, and enough space around you. You're up nice and early on a Sunday. Start the day well. It's supposed to be nice today. I think you should be able to see me when I go down to the floor, but I won't be able to get up and check any comments, so I'll just carry on. If you're doing this later, I'll just forward it until I'm stood on the mat, otherwise you get to just watch all my awkward conversation to myself. So I was meant to do this one this evening, do an evening Pilates, which I think maybe more people might have been able to join in with, but unfortunately I don't think timing wise with 2 kids at 6:30 would have been very good. We might have had a few visitors in the middle and some unhappy ones. So 6:30 in the morning it is. Hopefully you can watch it back. I think Leanne's putting it up either on our page or on YouTube or something. I'm not too sure. Is anyone else joining in with us this morning, or people just watching and doing later? Give us a hi if you're going to join in. Or is it just going to be me and Rachel across the bay doing it? I can't do it outside like the others have been doing their workouts outside. I think it's a bit cold, and it's actually still a bit dark. So inside it is. Rach, it looks like it's just me and you. Right, let's get going. So, if you set the body up to start with by standing with the sides of your feet together, Turn your toes out to 10 to 2, so if they were facing a clock, 10 to 2, then lift the heels up and place them behind, so feet are facing straight forwards. Stand nice and tall, so just imagine you've got a piece of string going through the crown of your head, so you're going to lift up through the top of your head all the way towards the ceiling to try and lengthen through your spine. Take an inhale and shoulder roll, and on your exhale, try and think about sliding your shoulder blades down your back. So inhale, roll the shoulders up, and then exhale, slide the shoulder blades down your back. So you're going to try and open out through the chest and then relax the shoulders down. As you drop the shoulders down, lengthen through the crown of the head, so you're trying to get that extra bit of length all the way through. So space between your vertebrae to try and help the discs fill with fluid when we start to move. So on your warm-up, what we're going to do is move through the different planes of movement of the spine. Okay, also going to try and engage those abdominals a little bit more. So now as you drop your shoulder blades down, think about drawing your belly button back towards your spine. So roll the shoulders up, and then on your exhale, draw the belly button in towards your spine as you drop the shoulder blades down. So you're just going to be trying to work on that transverse abdominal muscle, more so on the exhale, and that will make more sense when we start to do more movements, as on your exhale is when you're going to need that muscle to contract more. So drop the shoulder blades down, lengthen through the spine, go to lateral flexion. So we inhale here, and on your exhale we side bend. So you just come over to the side, keep the arms long, inhale up through the centre, and then exhale over to the other side. So you can let the head go over as well. If you feel any pain in your lower back, what you can do is just take the hands onto the hips, and that will take some of the weight out of the movement. The first thing you want to be thinking about here is the flexion of the spine. You will get a bit of a lower back stretch as well, but again, you shouldn't feel any pain as you're doing this. Try to avoid bringing the elbow up the body, okay, because that just encourages the shoulders to creep up towards the ears. Again, keep the abdominals drawn in, because that's going to help to protect your lower back. So just lateral flexion here. Also avoid pushing your hips to the side, so it's a bending sideways for the spine rather than a pushing sideways of the hips, okay? So try and keep the hips stacked above the feet. Do one more each side. And then coming up through centre, you're going to float the arms up so they're level with the shoulders. You're going to inhale here to prepare. And on your exhale, you're going to draw the elbow back and look back over your shoulder. Keep the abdominals drawn in. You're going to inhale back to the centre. And then exhale, draw the other side back. So the important things to think about here are that the hips stay facing forwards, and the rotation is from the thoracic part of the spine, which is the mid part of the back. So we're only working on focusing on that area at the moment. If you start to twist your hips, you start to twist through the knees as well. So we're just focusing on keeping the hips forwards and following the elbow back with the eyes. It's an exhale as you twist, and it's an inhale back to centre. Okay, so as you exhale and twist, you're drawing the belly button in towards your spine, and then you inhale back to centre. Exhale, twist, belly button comes in towards the spine, inhale back to the centre. One more each side. Exhale, twist, inhale back to centre. Last time, exhale, twist, keep the shoulders down, and then come back to centre. Drop the arms down, inhale, take the arms up, and then exhale, press the arms down to your side. So you need to practice your breathing here with the abdominal contraction. So the pelvic floor and the transverse abdominal muscle both work together on the exhale. So the inhale is when you float the arms up, and on the exhale, pull the belly button in towards your spine and try and lift the pelvic floor up towards your belly button. So you're working on those two deep core muscles. So it takes practice to try and find out how to use those muscles, and you're going to try and work them together. Okay, so as you press these arms down towards your side, scoop the belly button, draw the pelvic floor up. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, press the arms down. So when you float the arms up, don't lift the whole shoulder girdle up, so that shoulders shouldn't come up towards the ears. So you just float the arms up, shoulders stay down. And as you press the arms down towards your side, you're thinking about pressing them down nice and long. So a little bit of lengthening through the arms as you do this. Also remember that you're lengthening through the crown of the head, trying to get that space between those vertebrae. Inhaling, coming up. Exhale, press down. Now if you've got the abdominals switched on, when the arms come up, your ribs shouldn't lift away. Okay, so the space between your lowest rib and your hip should stay the same. We'll do 2 more of these. Inhale as you float the arms up. Exhale, press the arms down. Last time, inhale, float the arms up. Scoop the belly button back as you press the arms down. Coming onto one foot. So you're going to bring the knee up to around about hip height. So it depends if you've got any issues with the hip. What you don't want to be hearing as you start your hip circles is a clunking sound or a sensation. So if you feel that, then just lower the knee down a little bit, or you can even do this on the floor. But you need to make sure that the movement is in the hip. So you've got that ball and socket joint, so you're looking for a circular movement, and you make it as big as you can. Work on your core stability here as well. If you need to, you can hold on to something, because the main thing here is that we're mobilising our joints, looking at the bone movement, okay? But if you can, draw the belly button in, stand nice and tall, and work on your balance here. So if you can balance from your centre, you're going to take less of the stabilisation through this leg, which means this leg can just support you rather than having to try and balance you. Stay on the same side and change direction. Again, you're trying to work on keeping the body nice and still. So as you're moving this leg, try not to move the rest of the body with it, okay? So try and stand nice and still, up nice and tall, belly button drawn in towards your spine, and the hip circle as large as you can without hearing that sort of clunking sensation. Keep the shoulders down and relaxed. And then place that foot down. So over to the other side, bring that knee up, start the knee circles. Again, hold on to something if you need to. Think about that balance coming from your centre. And then staying on the same side, change direction. So opening out the hip. Keep that belly button drawn back. Circular movement, ball and socket joint. And then place that foot down. Turn sideways, just check you've got enough room. You're going to go into your leg swings. So with your leg swings, what we're doing here, a bit of a dynamic stretch here. So you've got your hip flexor working as you kick the leg back behind you, and the hamstring being stretched as you kick the leg in front of you. You can work on your balance again here. So draw the belly button in towards your spine, and then let the arms go as well. You can stand up nice and tall, so try not to have any flexion going through the spine here. So up nice and tall, and increase that range of movement if you can. Just watch so you don't overarch when you take the leg back. Change sides. Another thing just to watch is that you're trying to keep that leg straight, because when the leg goes back behind you, you want to encourage that hip flexor to stretch rather than sort of bending the leg behind you, okay? Keep it straight, kick it back. Use the arms again. So if you can get movement into the joints, you're going to send fluid in there, which is going to really help with that cartilage. Change sides. Also helps you to balance a little bit better when the arms are swinging as well. Always want a degree of control over that transverse abdominal muscle, so always bring your awareness back to drawing the belly button in towards your spine and standing up nice and tall. So this will really help with your posture if you can increase the stamina of that muscle. Change sides last time. So if you're doing this and you feel that one side feels particularly tight, just stay on that side. Okay, so the mobilisation section should all be about how you feel. If you feel you need to spend more time on one side, then do that. So going into your lateral leg swings, you're going to take the leg out to the side. Again, you can focus on balance here, or you can hold on to something. If you're holding on to something, hold on to it in front of you here rather than at the side, otherwise you'll kick it. And you're going to get a nice little stretch as well through the adductor muscles. If you visualise that piece of string going through the centre of your body, when your arms and your legs go away from that, pull your belly button in towards your spine. That's when your body's natural corset, that transverse abdominal muscle, needs to work harder. So if you can engage it then, at that point there, when the leg is away, you'll get more balance through the body. Change sides. So plant that foot down. Again, you're working with the arm as well. So the arm will just help to balance you a little bit, but also you're getting that movement through the shoulders. And as with the other leg swings, if you need to spend more time on one side, then you can do. So it's an exhale. And you're trying to combine that exhale with a drawing back of the belly button. Over to the other side again. And then changing sides last time. Once you've got that range of movement, then try and make it a little bit bigger so you're getting that stretch. If balance is what's stopping you, then hold on to something. Because the main aim of this is to get that movement through the hip and the stretch of the adductor rather than the balance, okay? So the balance will come the more you do Pilates anyway, because you'll be strengthening that core muscle. Okay, and place that foot down. So give the legs a little bit of a shake. We're going to go into your roll downs now. So your roll downs, they're all designed to mobilise the spine, restack in sequence. So we set the feet just as we did when we were stood facing forward. So it's sides of the feet together, toes out to 10 to 2, lift the heels, drop them behind. Always start by lengthening through the crown of the head. Drop the shoulders down, pull the belly button in towards your spine. You're going to look straight forwards and you're going to have the chin parallel to the floor. So you want to be looking just above where the horizon would be so that you're keeping that spine stacked one on top of the other. Here should be your best postural position, okay? So if you notice that your shoulders round in or your hands come in front of you, you need to work on opening out the chest a little bit more. So drawing out through there so that the arms actually come down by your sides. Ears should be in line with the shoulder. So you're going to take an inhale here through the nose. And as you exhale, nod the chin to the chest and scoop the belly button back towards the spine. Just going to fold forwards. And you're going to soften your knees as you roll forwards if you feel any tension through the hamstrings. When the fingertips reach the floor, inhale here. And then on your exhale, pull the belly button back towards the spine. Restack. Drop the shoulder blades down. And the last thing to come up will be the head. Inhale here. And exhale, nod the chin to the chest. Scoop the belly button. Just begin to roll forwards. Again, soften the knees here if you need to. Otherwise, you're going to be pulling the pelvis back as you're going forwards, which is actually going to cause strain on your lower back. Exhaling as you move. Inhaling as you prepare. So inhaling at the top here. Exhale, nod the chin to the chest. Draw the belly button back towards the spine. Soften the knees as you roll down. Inhaling here at the bottom. And then exhale, peeling up. So restack from the base of the spine through the midsection. Slide the shoulder blades down. Restack the top and then lift the chin last. Inhale here. And exhale, nod the chin to the chest. Draw that belly button back. So you want the arms and the head to be nice and relaxed here. So as you're rolling down, all that's supporting you here is those abdominals. So everything else should be relaxed. And we're going to add on to this your elephant pose. So you're going to inhale here. And on your exhale, nod the chin to the chest. Scoop the belly button. Begin to roll forwards. Should be exhaling all the way here. And then inhale when the fingertips reach the floor. Exhale, walk out into your elephant pose. So heels of the hands go further ahead than the shoulders. You push the hips back and you press the heels down into the floor. So keep the abdominals switched on here. Holding this position, you should feel a stretch through the lower part of the legs. Ears should be framed by the arms, so you shouldn't be hanging down in this position or looking forwards, okay? So ears framed by the arms, and the weight going through the hands evenly, okay? So not just in the outside of the hands, so make sure you're pressing through the hands evenly, trying to push the tailbone up towards the ceiling at the same time as pressing the heels down towards the floor. Take an inhale here, and on your exhale, walk your hands back down the centre of your mat, nod your chin to your chest, so you're looking through the legs, soften the knees, take hold of the calves here, take an inhale,
Relax the head. Exhale, draw the chest closer towards the thighs. Inhale, release the arms. And then exhale, pull the belly button in towards the spine. Roll yourself up one vertebra at a time. Last thing to come up is the head. Inhale here. Exhale, nod the chin to the chest. Scoop the belly button. Begin to roll down. Soften the knees. So no pressure. Pulling through those hamstrings here. Relax the head. Inhale. Exhale, walk it out into your elephant pose. Heels of the hands further ahead of the shoulders. Push the hips back. Press the heels down. Ears framed by the arms. And looking to get that length all the way through the lower part of the legs. Tailbone goes up towards the ceiling. Inhaling. And exhale, you deepen the stretch. Don't cause any shaking as you're deepening the stretch, okay? So don't take the stretch to a position where you're shaking, just so you can feel it, and you can increase it by sending those heels down, tailbone up. Inhale here, and exhale, walk the hands down the centre of the mat. So you're going to try not to shuffle side to side when you do this. So you're just walking those hands back, softening those knees when you need to. Inhale at the bottom here, take hold of the calves. Exhale, pull the chest closer towards the thighs. Again, no shaking. Inhale, release the arms. And then exhale, peeling up. Restack the spine, drop the shoulder blades down, lengthen through the crown of the head. So do that one more time. Inhale here. Exhale, nod the chin to the chest, scoop the belly button. So folding forward, soften the knees, roll it down towards the floor. Inhaling here. And exhale, walk it out into your elephant pose. So press those hands down into the floor, pushing back, pressing the heels down, ears framed by the arms, belly button drawn in towards the spine, pelvic floor lifted as well. So you're deepening the stretch more so on your exhale. Sink into the stretch, try and relax into it rather than force it. And on this one here, we're going to pedal the feet, which means we're going to lift one foot up and then the other one. And we're going to do this for 10, 9, 8, so focusing on one side, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Push both heels down, push the tailbone up. Inhale here, and exhale, walk those hands back down the centre of the mat. Try not to shuffle side to side. Soften the knees if you need to. When the fingertips reach the toes, look through the knees. Inhale, hold on to the calves. Exhale, bring the chest closer towards the thighs. Inhale, release the arms. And then exhale, peeling up. So we're restacking the spine. Shoulder blades slide down, which opens up the chest. And then the head lifts forwards. So we're going to add on to that. So we've just done roll down into elephant pose. We're now going to go through elephant pose into plank. So if it gets too much on your wrists, just take a break. But what we're going to do is focus on now the stretch of elephant pose, and then on the exhale we pull through into plank, which is when you need to be pulling your belly button in towards your spine. Okay, when you pull through into your plank, I want you to think about two different things. Shoulder blades slide down, belly button pulls back, okay, and that's going to help to draw everything in towards your centre to stabilise you. So we start with the inhale, roll down. So inhale to prepare, and exhale, nod the chin to the chest. Begin to roll down. So scoop that belly button, slowly roll yourself down towards the floor. When your fingertips reach the floor, inhale here to prepare, and exhale, walk it out into your elephant pose. So here you just need to make sure your hands are far enough ahead, otherwise when you pull through into plank, your shoulders will be further ahead of your the hands, and you don't want that, okay? So with the breathing here, let's take an inhale and push back into this stretch. And then on your exhale, shoulder blades slide down, belly button pulls in towards your spine, and you lengthen out towards your plank position. You inhale, push back into your elephant pose. So this is your stretch inhale, and then exhale, pull through, strengthen. Slide the shoulder blades down, pull the belly button in towards your spine. Inhale back into your elephant pose. Exhale, slide the shoulder blades down. Option, just have the knees down here and just hold your plank, okay? Inhale back. Exhale, pull through. Inhale back. And then exhale, pull through. Hold your plank here. Pull the belly button in towards your spine. Inhale, push back. Exhale. Exhale, walk the hands back. Try not to shuffle side to side, soften the knees. Inhale, hold on to the calves. Exhale, pull the chest closer towards the thighs. Inhale, release the arms. And then exhale, rolling up. Restack the spine. Shoulder blades come down and the head comes up last. So we're going to keep adding on stuff to this, okay? So we're now going to roll down, elephant pose into plank 5 times, and then we're going to go into our press up. So I'm going to do the half press ups because we've got quite a lot going through the wrists, okay? So follow me. Inhaling here. Exhale, nod the chin to the chest. Scoop that belly button, rolling down nice and slowly. Release through the spine. Inhaling at the bottom of your roll up. Exhale, walk it out into your plank, elephant pose position. So hands further ahead than your shoulders. Inhale, stretch through. Exhale, pull through. Inhale back. Exhale through. So really think, shoulder blades slide down into your back pocket, belly button pulls back towards your spine. 2 more, inhale back. Exhale through. Inhale back. Exhale, pull through. Inhale, place the knees down. Take the hands wider than the mat. So your breathing pattern here is an inhale down, chest comes down, and an exhale press. Okay, so it's an inhale down, exhale press. So on your exhale, you're pulling your belly button in towards your spine, which is when you want that abdominal muscle, the core muscle, working a little bit harder. 2 more, inhale down, exhale press, inhale down, exhale press. Just make sure you don't cross your ankles there, otherwise one hip will be dropped lower. Take the hands in underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes under, inhale to prepare, exhale up into plank, inhale back, elephant pose, exhale, walk it back, so down the centre of the mat, try not to shuffle, soften the knees, inhale, take hold of the calves, exhale, pull the chest closer, inhale, release the arms, and then exhale, roll it up. So again, restack, slide the shoulder blades down, lengthen through the crown of the head. So we've got roll down, elephant pose, plank, press up. We're going to add on to that. When you come back up into your plank, we're going to go into a single leg lift. Okay, your single leg lift is going to take away a point of contact, and what you've got to concentrate on is maintaining that plank position so your hips don't drop either side when you lift the leg. So it's not about lifting the leg high, it's just about taking away that point of contact and making sure you don't let that hip drop. So in Pilates, what we try and do is use our levers, arms and legs, as a means to making our core work stronger, either by lengthening them away from our core or taking a point of contact away. So that's what we're going to work on here. And this is the last bit on the wrist, okay? We can then lie down after that. So let's take the sides of the feet together again. Toes out to 10 to 2, lift the heels, drop them behind. So lengthen through the crown of the head. Inhale here to prepare. And on your exhale, nod the chin to the chest, fold forward, scoop the belly button, soften the knees, rolling down till your fingertips reach the floor. Relax through the head. Inhaling here, and then exhale, walk it out into your elephant pose. So place those hands far enough ahead of you so that you can pull through into plank. Inhale, push back into elephant pose, ears frame ply the arms. Exhale, pull through, slide your shoulder blades down your back, pull the belly button in towards your spine. Inhale back, stretch. Exhale through. So also in Pilates, if you can make your exhale longer, so you can take that deeper breath, you'll be holding your plank position for longer, therefore you'll get stronger. Okay, so try and work on that deep breathing. Inhaling as you push back, stretch. Exhale, pull through, slide the shoulder blades down, pull the belly button in towards your spine. Last time, inhale back, stretch. Exhale. exhale, pull through, strengthen. Take the knees down, take the hands wider than the mat. Don't cross the ankles. Inhale, chest down. Exhale, push, pull the belly button in. Inhale, down. Exhale, push. Inhale, down. Exhale, push. 2 more. Down on the inhale. Exhale, push away. Inhale, down. Exhale, push away. Take the hands underneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes under. Inhale here. Exhale, up into plank. Inhale. Exhale, one foot comes off. Inhale, down. Exhale, other. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then place the knees down. Push back and you hold in child's pose. So you just rest the head on the floor here. So the arms can either be here or behind you. The key thing as well in child's pose is that you relax your head onto the mat. So if you can't get your head all the way down, just place one fist on top of the other and relax the forehead on there. Also, if you've got any knee issues, you might not be able to get your hips back onto the heels, so you can hold in that position if you want to. So you're just going to relax in this position for a minute or so. Okay, so if you lie yourself on your front now, we're going to go into the movement which is called swan dive. So the key with your swan dive is that you're not shortening the lower back. Okay, so you don't want to feel compression in your lower back at all. So as soon as you start to feel this in your lower back, you need to start to not push up any further and think about pushing forwards with the breastbone. Okay, so rather than thinking more height is better, start to think about the spine and you're extending, and the hinge you want to sort of think about is right in the middle of the back. Okay, so you're trying to think about the thoracic part of the spine extending rather than this bit here compressing. So we start the swan dive. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me all right, but you've got to put your forehead down on the mat and the elbows will just be by your sides near your shoulders. Okay, now with the forehead on the mat, if you take the legs slightly wider than the hips, that can help you to not take too much pressure through the lower back. Pull the belly button in towards your spine, and that will help to protect your lower back as well. Keep the shoulders down and relaxed. So the first thing you do in your swan dive is you lift your head away from the mat. And a common thing that people do, which is a mistake, is that when I say lift your head away from the mat, they lift their chin away from their chest. Okay, so you don't want to do that. You want to keep the chin, so imagine you've got a little plum between your chin and your chest. Keep that there. Just bring the forehead away from the mat. So already you've got a bit of extension going through here. The next thing I want you to think about is your shoulder blades pulling down your back. And as they pull down your back, you're going to slightly lift your chest, push the breastbone forwards. And then when you're in this position here, as long as you're not feeling this in your lower back, you can then start to try and extend up. But as you extend up, pull the shoulders down, push the chest forwards so that you're not decreasing the length of the lower back. And then as you come down onto your elbows, roll down through the front of the rib cage, and then place the forehead back down onto the floor. Okay, so I'll go through that again. You lift the head away first, then you slide the shoulder blades down and you start to push the chest forwards to curl up. Now if you start to feel it in your lower back here, you stop here and you just work on pushing forwards and drawing down with the shoulder blades. Otherwise you can try and extend up. As you extend up, draw that belly button in towards your spine. You need to be careful that you're not squeezing your glutes too much here as well, okay? So you don't want to be squeezing the glutes too much. Come down onto the elbows, pull the belly button in towards your spine, roll through the front of the rib cage, place the forehead down. So we inhale to prepare, and on our exhale, it's important that you get all of those movements working in the right pattern and you don't just push through the arms, okay? So the head comes away, shoulder blades come down, push the chest forward, push through the arms if you can. Keep the shoulders down here. Pull the belly button in towards your spine. Roll yourself back down slowly, trying to lengthen so the forehead is further up the mat. Inhaling. Exhale, head comes back. Push forwards. Someone's up. Slide the shoulder blades down. Going to do 2 more of those. So bring the elbows down, roll through the front of the rib cage. Forehead comes down. Draw the head away from the mat. Shoulder blades down. Breastbone pushes forwards. Extend through the arms if you can. Pull the belly button in towards your spine. Lower yourself down onto your elbows. Roll through the front of the rib cage. And place the forehead onto the mat. Okay, take those hands underneath the shoulders. Push up and turn yourself around. So you want to be sitting at the front of your mat so that you've got the length of the mat behind you. So here we're going to go into what we call our roll up. So the roll up is very much looking at the mobilisation of your spine. So quite often people find the roll up hard coming back up because of the mid part of the back not having much mobility or limited mobility. So it's a core exercise and a mobility exercise for the spine. If we start with our knees bent, so I didn't know if anybody would have a band with them, so I'm just going to adapt it for the knees bent. And you start in a straight neutral spine position. To initiate your roll up, you're going to tuck the tailbone under, which sends the spine into flexion, okay? Then draw the belly button in towards your spine. As you keep tucking the tailbone under, now you can use your hands here to hold onto the back of the legs to slow this down. You keep tucking the tailbone under and you roll down all the way through the spine. When the shoulder blades come down, you release the head down to the floor. Inhale. Now when you take these arms over, 2 things you need to watch for. 1, you haven't lifted through the shoulder girdle, so you keep those shoulders down. And 2, as I said before, when we use our arms and legs as levers, when those arms go over your head, you don't let your ribs and hips separate and you don't let your lower back arch on the mat. Okay, so this movement here might seem like just a stretch, but actually what you're doing is you're encouraging this muscle to maintain a connection. So inhale, you take the arms over, and on your exhale, you bring the arms back. As your fingertips point up towards the ceiling, you lift the head, reach forwards, hold onto the legs here, curl yourself up, and then extend up into neutral again. Okay, so it's a full flexion movement of the spine, initiated from the tailbone. So tuck the tailbone under, make sure the knees are pointing up towards the ceiling, and then keep tucking as you roll through, drawing that belly button in towards your spine, rolling down, head goes down. Inhale, take the arms over. Remember, this is encouraging the abdominals to work. Don't let the lower back arch. Bring the arms back, lift the head, reach forwards, and then extend up. So what you're trying to do here as well is work on your breathing to go with it. So it's an inhale as you tuck the tailbone under, and on your exhale we roll down. Inhale, arms go over. Exhale up. So if you need to use your arms behind your legs, then keep doing it in that position where your knees are bent. Otherwise, you can go into your full roll up with the straight legs. So with the straight legs here, same thing with the spine. Inhale, tuck. Exhale, we roll back. Inhale, arms go over. Again, watch for that lower back arching. Exhale, coming up. Slight stretch over the hamstring here. And then restack, drop the shoulder blades down. So inhale, tuck. Exhale, rolling down. And this is the point here where some people fall a little bit. Okay, so we try and slow that down. Inhale, we take the arms over. Ribs stay connected. Lower back stays in the same position. Exhale, bring the arms up, lift the head, reach forwards, hamstring stretch, restack, tuck the tailbone, slowly going down, rolling through the spine, arms going over, exhale up, restack here, last one. Inhale, tuck. Exhale, roll. Inhale over. And then hold it there. Take it into a stretch. Okay, so now you reach away, let those shoulders come up, let the back do what it wants to. So stretch the arms as far away from the legs as you can. And then bring the arms back down by your side. So what we're going to do now is just reset the body on the floor. So what you can do when you've got the mat on beneath you is use the floor as feedback as to how your spine is laying on the mat. So to set the body up here, sides of the feet together, turn your toes out to 10 to 2, lift the heels, drop them behind, hands on the floor, palms facing down. Try and walk your fingertips down towards your heels a little bit more. That's just going to help you to encourage those shoulders to stay away from the ears. And then from this position here, you need to think about the heaviness that you feel through the body. So you should feel a heaviness through the back of the head, no pressure through the back of the neck, heaviness across the shoulder blades, a lightness through the lower back, and the heaviness in the tailbone. Okay, so that is your neutral spine position. So your natural curve in the lower back will mean that there's that light pressure, almost like you've got a small pocket of air between your lower back and the mat. Okay, so if you tuck your tailbone under, you should feel yourself imprint the lower back. And then if you release back into the tailbone, you'll feel yourself release that pressure from the lower back. So it's a small movement, so you probably won't see the movement from how I'm doing it, okay, because the movement is small. And what you're going to do is inhale and imprint your lower back, and exhale, release into the tailbone. Inhale and imprint, so small movement, and exhale, release. And what you're going to try and think about here is how you're imprinting. So quite often people press into the feet and feel their hamstrings tense up. You just need to be using the abdominals here, okay, because with this movement, when you imprint, we follow it by going into the shoulder bridge. If you're already switching those hamstrings on excessively, when you go into your shoulder bridge, they'll cramp quite easily. Okay, so think about imprinting your lower back with the abdominals. So it's an inhale as you imprint, abdominals switched on, hamstrings are nice and relaxed. And an exhale, we don't overarch, okay, you just exhale and release back into the tailbone. So moving on into your shoulder bridge, let's inhale and imprint the lower back. Abdominals are switched on here, and then as you exhale you peel up, so you push the hips up towards the ceiling. Now squeeze the glutes as you come up here, and then when the weight is in the shoulder blades, squeeze the glutes more to get the hips higher. So you want a diagonal line, knees, hips and armpits. Don't let the pressure dig into the neck and the head, so you want the head to be free. Okay, glutes are squeezed here. We inhale here at the top, feet should be flat on the floor, and on your exhale, roll through the back of the shoulder blade. So this is where you're going to try and use the floor for feedback. Roll through behind the rib cage, keep the tailbone tucked under, roll through behind the back of the belly button, tailbone stays tucked under, roll through the lower back, and then release back to neutral where you feel that lightness through the lower back. Okay, so that's your shoulder bridge broken down. So you're going to try and roll through each part of the spine rather than just doing the movement. Think about how your spine is acting. So inhale and imprint, use the abdominals. Exhale, peel up, push the hips up, squeeze the glutes. When the weight is going across the shoulder blades, squeeze the glutes even more to get the hips as high so that you've got that diagonal line. Don't overdo it, okay? So just in that diagonal line. Inhaling here, feet should be flat on the floor, head should be free of pressure. And then exhale, roll through the spine like a bike chain. Okay, so you're rolling through each section. Keep retucking the tailbone, roll behind the back of the belly button, through the lower back, and then release it into the tailbone. Making it more challenging at the top. So let's inhale and imprint. Exhale, peel up. Squeeze the glutes, weight in the shoulder blades. Here at the top of your shoulder bridge, inhale and take the arms over. Don't let the hips drop, don't let the shoulders come up or the ribs separate from the hips. As you exhale, bring the arms back and you roll down through your shoulder bridge with the arms coming down at the same time. So keep retucking. And what you're doing here is you're just encouraging the muscles down the side of the spine to roll you in a straight line. So when your arms are on the floor, you won't realise it, but you're helping to just keep in a straight line there. So we're trying to encourage a little bit more stability through the spine. So inhale and imprint. Exhale and peel up. Push the hips up, squeeze the glutes, abdominals drawn in. When you're at the top of your shoulder blades, take an inhale, arms go over, ribs stay down, hips stay high, shoulders stay away from the ears. Exhale, bring the arms down, roll through the whole spine in sequence. Keep retucking behind the back of the belly button, roll through the lower back, release into the tailbone. 2 more, inhale and imprint. Exhale, peel up. Inhale, arms over. Exhale, roll down. Release into the tailbone, neutral spine position. Last time, inhale, imprint. Exhale, roll up. Squeeze the glutes here, abdominals drawn in, arms come over, ribs and hips stay connected. Bring the arms back down as you roll through the spine, 1 vertebrae at a time. Keep retucking. And then release into your tailbone. So go into a full body stretch here. So the hamstrings do work there, and with postural position being seated for a lot of people, hamstrings can get quite tight. So what we'll do is we'll go into a little bit of a stretch of the hamstrings. We're going to make it into a core exercise though. So we're going to do our single leg stretch. So your single leg stretch, we're going to do it with a bent leg to start with, and then we'll take it into the straight leg. So to initiate this movement, what we do is you point up towards the ceiling, keep the shoulders down, inhale here to prepare, and on your exhale, crunch up and scoop your belly button down. So don't let the tummy dome out here. Relax the shoulders and reach ahead of you. And then you're going to bring one leg in and you're going to hold onto the shin. You're going to stretch the other leg out. With this leg being brought in towards the body, you sort of use it to keep you up a little bit further, and that will take the pressure off your neck. You're going to try and kick away into your hand at the same time as pulling down. So there won't be actually any movement, but you've got that pressure. Downward pushing of the hand, upward kicking of the leg, and that will help you to engage the abdominals a little bit more. This straight leg is hovering here at the moment. What we're going to do is try and cause momentum, and you're not going to let the body react to it. So with a double kick, you're not going to let yourself rock here. Okay, so the breathing is, so it's an exhale as you kick. Inhale. So double kick the leg, so you're trying to maintain the same position through the upper body while the lower body's moving. Okay, so again, you're looking at the levers, creating movement, and then the core muscle is not reacting. Stay up nice and tall. Got 8 more. 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then bring the legs in. Stretch out. So that was your bent leg, single leg stretch. When we go into the straight leg, we start to add that dynamic stretch onto the hamstrings. So if you're finding it too difficult with the straight leg, you can always go back to the bent leg. If your neck is taking too much pressure, just relax the head down, okay? So you don't want to feel that you're tensing up through here, and that will happen if you can't curl up far enough, okay? You can do this exercise with the head on the floor if you want to, okay? But it will depend on your hamstring length, whether you can get the leg back that far. If you want to encourage a little bit more of these external abdominal muscles working, then come up into your crunch position. So again, we start by pointing up towards the ceiling. Inhale to prepare, and on your exhale, come up. Bring that leg in, stretch that leg out, lift yourself a little bit higher. So the difference here is we stretch this leg up. So we're looking at that hamstring stretch there. And now when you kick that leg down, you also want to be pulling this leg towards you, okay? So you've got the stretch and a kick. Again, you're going to try not to rock, so you keep the abdominals working. So inhale to prepare, exhale, inhale, change. So staying up nice and high, so you're looking through where the legs are, okay? Kick, kick, change. Kick, kick, change. 8, 7, 6, pull the belly button down towards the spine. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Bring the knees in. Rest the head down and then place the feet down onto the floor. So next exercise we're going to do is just going to add a little bit of rotation into the spine. So if you take the arms out to the side, palms facing up towards the ceiling. Feet can go together here. On your inhale, you're going to drop the knees over to one side and you're going to take your gaze over to the opposite side. On your exhale, first thing you're going to do, pull your belly button in towards your spine. Second thing is bring your rib cage back to the mat and the pelvis will follow and the knees will follow. Okay, so that's the order that you want to be thinking about coming back to this position. So it's an inhale over, knees go to the side, shoulder blades stay firmly on the floor, weight distributed evenly. Exhale, belly button back, ribs back, pelvis will follow. So you initiate the movement with that core. Inhaling over to the side. Exhale, pull the belly button in, rib cage comes back, legs will follow. Inhaling over. So you're getting a lower back stretch here. Make sure you're not lifting the shoulder blade off the floor at all, otherwise the whole body's just tipping to one side. You're looking at trying to fix that rotation through the mid part of the back. So you can make this movement slightly more challenging by taking the legs into tabletop position. If you're going to do that, you need to be aware that you're going to get more stretch on your lower back and you're going to need to use the abdominals more. Okay, so if you float the legs into tabletop, the legs won't go all the way to the floor, they'll go as far as your shoulder blades will allow without lifting. So you inhale over to the side, keep the belly button drawn in towards the spine here, pull the belly button in, pull the rib cage back, and the pelvis will follow. So inhaling over to the other side. Again, keeping the shoulder blades down. Make sure you're not pressing through the arms here. Okay, so using the abdominals. So don't take it up to the next level if you're having to press through the arms too much, if your shoulder blades are lifting up, and if you're feeling any pain in your lower back. Inhaling over. Exhale back. Do one more each side. Inhaling over. Exhale, pull the rib cage back. Last time, inhale over. And then exhale. Bring the legs back. Okay, taking those feet down. Just go into a full body stretch here. So stretch the legs out, stretch the arms out. And then bring those arms back down to your side. What's going on like that? Bring your knees into your chest, and we're going to go into your rolling ball. If you have any issues with your spine, like osteoporosis, anything like that, and you know you shouldn't be loading your spine in flexion, this one is not for you. Okay, so you can just stay in this position here and just hug the knees in. Otherwise, if you know you've got no issues with the spine, you can do your rolling ball. The rolling ball, you come up into this position here. You're looking to try and get a C shape with the spine, so you need to make sure that your chin stays down. So quite often when people roll back, they look back and that sends this area here into a straight position. You need to make sure you're up and curled, okay? And you roll back and then you roll up. Okay, so again, as like it was with the roll up, you initiate this movement with tucking the tailbone under. So let's start by pointing the toes and just lightly having the toes touching the mat. Inhale, tuck the tailbone under, roll back, and exhale, you come up. When you come up, think about drawing the shoulder blades down and belly button in towards your spine. So inhale, roll back. Exhale, roll up. Inhale, back. Exhale, up. And what you want to be feeling is that you're not sort of hearing that on the mat. So you want to be making sure you don't miss out that lower back. And that's, you do that by keeping that tailbone tucked under. Okay, so keep the tailbone under, then lift and lengthen. The next stage on from this is when you come up, you don't let those feet touch. So you lift, lengthen, open up the chest, pull the belly button in towards your spine, and then you're balancing in neutral. Then you tuck and you roll, and you come up and balance in neutral. Tuck and roll. So it's the exhale here, inhale back. Last one. and then place the feet down. So going over onto your front, we're going to go into tabletop position. So your tabletop position will be where you've got the heels of your hands should be underneath your shoulders and the knees will be underneath your hips. So you're supported in this position, the shoulder blades are down. We go into cat and cow, which is flexion and extension. So cat, you tuck the tailbone under, nod the chin to the chest. You're looking for a rounding all the way through the back. Cow, you draw the shoulder blades down, you dip through the pelvis and you look forwards. Okay? Draw the belly button in towards your spine to protect your lower back. Inhale up into your cat stretch. And then exhale, draw the shoulder blades down, tip the pelvis, look forwards. Important that you keep that belly button drawn in there, okay, as you're going into that extension. Try not to tense up through the hamstrings here. Exhaling out into cow. 2 more. Inhale, cat stretch. Exhale out into cow. Last one. Inhale up into cat stretch. And then exhale out into cow. Coming up through elephant pose. So heels of the hands down onto the floor, weight distributed evenly. Tuck your toes under, inhale to prepare. Exhale, push back into your elephant pose. Press the heels down, push the hips back. So ears framed by the arms here. Abdominals drawn in. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, walk the hands back down the centre of the mat. Try not to shuffle side to side. Soften the knees if you need to. Relax the head. Inhale, take hold of the calves. Exhale, bring the chest closer towards the knees. Inhale, release the arms. And then exhale, pull the belly button in towards your spine. Restack the spine as you did at the start. Drop the shoulder blades down. Head lifts last. So standing straight forward, you're going to take an inhale shoulder roll. And then as you exhale, slide your shoulder blades down your back, looking straight forward. So we inhale, roll the shoulders. Slide the shoulder blades down, lengthen through the crown of the head, pull the belly button in towards your spine. Inhale, roll. Remember, this should be your best postural position. Shoulder blades down, belly button drawn in. Last one, inhale, roll. And then exhale, slide the shoulder blades down, abdominals drawn in. And you're done. Well done. Thank you, guys. Let me know what you thought. See ya.